All right, it's Hip Hop Anonymous on SureAlternative.com and 94.3 HD2. It's Joe Monmouth with you. What's going on? This brand new episode of Hip Hop Anonymous. And one of the things I love about this show is really bringing to light some hip-hop groups and hip-hop individuals that you may have never heard of yet. These dudes you probably should have heard of. They've really been making waves. Their music has been heard on the show The Cleaner with Benjamin Bratt. Their video has also been on Fuse, MTV. They've even cracked the Billboard chart with one of their tracks called Yesterday. I'm talking about Nine Leaves, and I am very proud to say that right now I got my man Stang from Nine Leaves on the line to talk to us. What's going on, Stang?
I'm good. I'm feeling great today. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. It's good to talk to you. Glad to finally get in touch. And let's talk about Peace in Death, your album that you guys put out in August 2008. Yeah. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. You're really sort of bringing this idea of a cohesive album together. How did you get working on this? What was the inspiration for it and all that sort of good stuff?
Well, when it comes to our music, inspiration kind of comes from all areas, all different angles. One perspective that we did approach the album with is getting back to, like you mentioned, a cohesive album, an album with no skipping tracks, an album that shares a complete thought, a complete emotion, and carries a listener through that story from beginning to end. So that definitely was one of the approaches for the album, and one of our things when it comes to Nine Leaves music. It's just being kind of conceptually heavy, not knocking what any other artist does, but, a lot of the music gets to be similar.
Stang,
and, we wanted to do something that's different and, give people a little bit more to listen to, something to mix it up during the day.
Yeah, I hear you. Sorry to cut you off there, but Stang, feel free. Let loose on some of the artists that are coming out right now because I don't mind because I do it all the time on Hip Hop Anonymous. I think people are just making trash nowadays, and when I hear something like what you guys are doing, it really lifts my spirits knowing that there's still love for hip-hop, and you guys are definitely showing that in what you're putting out.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, well, I grew up in the era of, some of the greatest hip-hop artists ever, and also in the era of hip-hop where it was unacceptable to do what someone else was doing. Like the fans, as listeners and as fans and consumers, we didn't want that. And I feel like, the industry has gotten really safe. And, because, there's so many different variables to, why artists are doing the things they're doing. It's hard to get sales because of the internet and stuff like that. So, we got to stop playing it safe, and we won't. We'll never play it safe. We're just going to always do what we do. And, hate us or love us for it. Hopefully everyone loves us.
Well, I definitely love it. And you guys are definitely going against the grain and doing some things in hip-hop, conceptually, beat-wise, lyrics-wise, kind of coming out of left field, really trying to do those things that nobody else is doing. It's almost like a sort of epic quality to the album, you know what I'm saying? Like this kind of overarching symphonic sort of thing you got going on, which you don't hear a lot about. Yeah.
I got to credit that to the composer of our group, who's also an MC, Zach Hempsey. He's classically trained in music. He actually works in a field of doing film score and stuff like that. So all that comes into our music. Like, he never even listened to hip hop before we all got together, maybe about 10 years ago when we were younger. And we introduced him to hip hop, and then meshing what he does with what we love. I mean, that's how our sound was born, and we love it. We plan to stick to that formula. It works for us,
Yep, I hear you, and it's definitely working, including one of your tracks, Yesterday, which you have a video out for. Tell me about the video, the process of making it, and about the track itself, and how it's been being received by critics and fans alike.
Oh, okay. Well, as far as it's being received, people love it. We've gotten great comparisons to, it's the nice early 90s, late 80s feel of hip-hop, J-Rock soul type feel. So all those things are huge compliments to me. The song came about, actually, we're coming up on a new year, and just looking back at life and, not so much, looking back at life in a retrospective view, not so much in a good or bad way, but just, looking back at our year and seeing where we were and where we've been and the things that have gone on. So even in the video, we try to reflect that everyday life, stuff that a listener can appeal to. Everything is not in the club, everything's not bottle popping, everything's not some war on the streets, and everything is not about women. We have children, we have jobs, and that's what all of our music, the album Peace and Death also comes from. There's songs about, being tired about work. There's songs about, admiring somebody from afar and wanting to be with them, not having the courage to talk to them. We hit life from all aspects, because that's what music really is, a soundtrack to life. So that's what we got to give the people,
Absolutely. So right now we're going to check out Yesterday. This is one of the tracks coming off of Peace in Death by 9 Leaves. We're talking to Stang. We'll be back. First, you're going to hear Yesterday. It's on Hip Hop Anonymous. This is SureAlternative.com. All right, that was Yesterday by 9 Leaves. We're talking to Stang. We just played one of the songs coming off of Peace in Death, again called Yesterday. That was a track that's, all about looking back. And speaking of looking back, let's juxtapose that with looking forward. What are you guys working on right now? What do you guys got planned to coming out?
Currently, we're back in the creative process. We're working on some solo stuff. As people get familiar with the group and familiar with me, you can look out for, some new music from myself, some people I'm collaborating with, doing shows. We usually rock out with a full live band, which is not really, actually, it wasn't heard before in hip-hop. It was usually just the root. But now everyone's kind of taken on to that format. But being that our music had, kind of classical infused, rock infused, our live show is like our bread and butter. So, doing some shows, and that's pretty much, the move. And hopefully some more licensing stuff so people can hear our music on more TV shows, movie trailers. We're trying to take over.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, and you're doing it, man. You're doing it, especially with everything you got going for you and everything with Peace of Death. It's just a real a testament to the quality of the type of music that you're putting out. If any fans who haven't heard of you before want to check you out, where can they find you online? Or you got MySpace or anything like that, Facebook?
Yeah, we're on MySpace. You can Google us. Actually, the easiest way is Google us. Just Google us, 9 Leaves. You'll find our Facebook page, which is 9 Leaves Live. You'll find me, Stang 9 Leaves. We're on Twitter. We're on MySpace. We have a website, 9leaves.org. And we're all over YouTube.
All right, nice. And let's talk about the track that I'm going to play next from you guys. It's called Remember, Execute, and Forget. Why don't you give me a little story behind that?
Oh, yes. Remember, Execute, Forget is just actually a great example of what we love to do best. Create a story, make it interesting, challenge ourselves, take ourselves to another level lyrically, musically, and everything. So the song actually came up from, we're all big movie buffs. So, the Born Supremacy and Universal Soldier and all those type of movies where it talk about mind control and creating the perfect weapon. So the song actually came from that concept. The song is about an orphanage. And from the outside, it's just an orphanage. Inside of the orphanage, they're actually training young children to be soldiers by using mind control. So the Remember, Execute, Forget is like a prompt that they give them for them to click into whatever mode they need to be to create a mission. So the song is just kind of about that whole process. The music drives it, so you get excited. It's like an action film, actually. And for listeners, once you get to hear it and get into it, it feels like a short action film. I love it.
And that's the part where you're talking about Zach having that film score background. You can really hear it definitely on that track where he's got sort of that feel going on with it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you very much for your time, Stang. We appreciate it. Definitely looking forward to playing more of your music, hearing some more new music from you guys, 9 Leaves. Don't forget, like Stang said, if you want, go on Google 9 Leaves, and you'll find all sorts of ways to get in touch with them. I know you go to 9leaves.org and check out all of Peace in Death. So if you haven't heard it yet, there's all the tracks are up there. You could also buy the album from 9leaves.org.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Sir.
Awesome. Well, Stang, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
You're very.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. I'm sure we'll be talking to you soon in the future, so I look forward to that, man.
Excellent.
All right, here is Remember, Execute, Forget. You're going to check this out. It's Hip Hop Anonymous on SureAlternative.com.